Today we're going to talk more about fractions, decimals, and percents. And we're going to start with place value because if you know the place value of the number and you can say the place value of the number, it will help you write that fraction or that decimal. Any questions? Okay, so who can tell me what place value the 4 is in this number? John?
100.
Huh?
100.
Close. Tens or tenths? Yes, it is in the tenths place. All right, who can tell me what place value the 2 is in? Seamus? Tens. What about the 7? Anybody on this side of the room? Yes? Good job. All right, the 6. Logan? The 3. Aiden? The 1s. And the 5. Nathan? Hundredths. Good job. Okay, so if we start at the 1s place, at the 3, what do you notice about both sides of the 1s place? Look at the place values on both sides of the 1s place. Bennett? Right, we have tens, and then we have tenths. What if I added a number over here? What place value would that be in? Hundreds, and then we have hundredths. So if you look on both sides of the 1s place, it's going to be a repeating pattern as you go out. You'll have tens, hundreds, thousands on one side, and tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and so on the other side. Does everybody see how that works? Now, if we were going to say this number, what do we say when we get to the decimal point? Seamus? And. Make sure you write that on your decimal. Any questions about those?
Isn't the 1 supposed to be for? Isn't the 1 supposed to be for the tens?
Nope, it's always closest to the decimal on the left side. Like if you had $4,
Oh no, yeah,
you count by 1s to get there, and it's right by the decimal. Okay. All right, fraction review. What is the top of a fraction called? What is that number called? The numerator. And the bottom number of a fraction? The denominator. Any questions about the numerator and the denominator? Okay, what do we call this fraction? 1/2. We say half when we see a 2 at the bottom of a fraction, not one. Like when we say third, it stands for a 3. You say half for 2. You don't say 1/2. Any questions? The 2 represents half when we're talking about a fraction. Okay?
Okay, the next part is a review of what we had just done. Decimal to percent, but now we're going to add in the fraction as well. Now there's one thing I didn't put in here yet. Anybody notice what it would be? Jacob? Okay, and you know why that is? Because our decimal is our holding place in between the two. Honestly, the decimal is the place that's going to get us the fraction and the percent. So we put that one in the middle intentionally because it's a lot more difficult to go percent to fraction or fraction to percent. Especially fraction to percent because unless the denominators work out well to 100, it may not work so well. But decimal will always work going both ways. But there's something else that we had before. It has to do with the nectar of the gods. Y'all are disappointing me. What does that 2 mean? Logan? Nope. Don?
But divide numbers like 2 or times.
I'm not liking the way you said that. The 2 is how many times I'm moving my decimal place, not dividing by it. Right? So I'm moving my decimal twice. Decimal the percent, it goes to the right. Percent the decimal, it moves to the left. Okay? So that's kind of a little trick on that one. Now, decimals to fractions we haven't given you yet, so we're going to give you a nice little tune to help you know what to do. Okay? So if I'm going to switch a decimal to a fraction, the very first thing we are going to do is say it. That's why we just did that review on the decimal places, because you need to be able to say it properly. If you say it properly, it makes the next step really easy. Because once I've said it, now all I have to do is write it. So as I say it, I'm just going to write it exactly like it is. And then my personal favorite is step 3. I will give you a hint. We're talking about fractions. So what do you think we would do next? Annie? Simplify it. Okay, so now what is the tune to help you remember this? It's kind of a dainty little jaunt. It goes like this. Say it, write it, simplify it. Okay? So, let's all do this together. Ready?
No.
We're gonna sing.
No.
Yes.
Why?
Sing along with me. Okay, ready? Say it, write it, simplify it. They good? Okay. So, here's what I mean. Let's put this into action. Example 1. How do I say what we've written there? Jackson. Good. 0 and 5 tenths. Well, Jesus said point. Go and hit yourself on the back of the head. I do it for you, but I don't want to get in trouble. So, 0 and, then we write it. 5 tenths. Now we simplify it. What's my 14 under simplifying, Manny? Thank you. You got it done. Well done, buddy. 2, 3, 5, 7. So that's what we're going to look at. Can I divide 5 and 10 by 2?
Yes.
I can't divide 5 evenly by 2. No, I can't. Not evenly. Can I do it by 3? Can I do it by 5? Yes. So then I do. Divided by 5 gives me 1/2. So as a fraction, 5 tenths simplifies to 1/2. Yes.
You can also find 5 by 2. You can do
No, you can't. You have to go evenly. Has to go evenly. 2.5 does not work in a fraction. Okay, how do we say our second number? Brooklyn?
1 and 6 tenths.
Excellent. 1 and 6 tenths. Now, we haven't really covered this yet, but because of that and, we do a whole 1 and 6 tenths. No, you're supposed to be writing all this down. Okay, 6 tenths. Can I simplify that?
Yes.
Can I divide them by 2?
Yes.
Yes, so divide by 2. Now, one key on this. I don't simplify the whole number. The whole number stays like it is. So I just divide the 6 by 2 gives me 3. 10 by 2 gives me 5. And there's my final answer. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's do our last one. Again, let's go through the process. Say it. Seamus.
1 and 41
Excellent. Then we write it. 1 and 41 hundredths. Now we check for simplifying. And once we're getting into the bigger numbers, this is where your 2, 3, 5, 7 really helps you guys. Can I divide those both by 2? By 3? By 5? By 7? If you say no 4 times, you're done. Now there is a rare exception. If my second factor is another prime number like 11, 13, 17, 19, then there may be a chance to simplify it, but by and large, that's going to happen every time. Questions? Okay, so again, say it, write it, simplify it. Yeah, no, next one. My voice is okay. Tender at this point. I've already done this 4 times today. Okay, remember, we already talked a little bit about this. Our 1 is the winner. Our 2 is the loser. So the winner goes in the house. The loser is left out in the rain. So what are your 2 steps? It is sad. But, you know, sometimes life is sad. There are winners and losers. Step 1, the winner goes in the house. Step 2, the loser stays out. And just because being a loser, we got to make it rain. In the rain. Make it more miserable for them. Okay? So the winner goes in the house, the loser stays out in the rain. Now I just do the math. Will 2 go into 1? No, so I need to do what? Add a decimal and a 0. Remember, my decimal immediately goes straight up. Don't forget to do that, guys. 2 goes into 10 5 times, and that's it. So 1/2 as a decimal is, who said that? Janice? Genevieve, help me out. How do you say that? No, the other Genevieve. It's such a common name. Guys, quiet, I can't hear. Saying this number. Huh? You have email boost, Mr. Chan. Manny? 5 tenths, thank you. Wow. Okay, guys, we're going to give you 3 minutes to do these next 3 problems. 3 minutes, go. Okay, first one. Again, the top guy is the winner. He goes in the house. Loser's left on the outside. We'll go into 1, so I add the decimal. It's going to go twice. Subtract 8 gives me 2. I'm not at 0 yet, so I bring another 0 down. That's going to go 5 times. And now I'm at 0, so I'm done. So 1/4 is, who thinks they can say that? Logan?
2,500.
Very well done, 2,500. Next one. 1, he's the winner. He goes in the house. The loser's out in the cold. My decimal comes straight up. It's going to go once, so I'm at a 2. Still not a 0, so I bring another 0. That's going to go twice. 16 gives me a 4. Still not a 0, so I add another place. 40 goes 5 times. Now I finally hit 0, so I'm done. So, how do we say that number? I love when I pick that. Let's get someone from my side. Kaden.
125,000.
Excellent. 125,000. Okay, we haven't covered this one yet. How many of you turn this into an improper fraction first? Okay, you're doing it the hard way. Okay? If I have a mixed number and I turn it into an improper fraction, all you have done is literally double the chances of making a math error. Because when I start to divide it out, that whole number is going to be the first things that I divide back out. So now you've made a chance of making a math error, turning it into a mixed improper fraction, and then you made a chance for making a math error as you do the long division. So if you have a mixed number, you're turning into a decimal, ignore the whole number part, because that's really not going to affect your answer. The decimal part is just the fraction part, okay? So I can just do the 3/4, and then I'll put the whole number, whatever it is, back in front of the decimal piece. So again, our winner goes in the house, our loser's out in the cold. Add our decimal, it's going to go into 37 times. Gives me a 2, still not a 0, bring down another. That's going to go 5 times, and 9 a 0. So I know that the decimal portion is 75 hundredths. So now I just add the whole number back in front of it, and make it 1 and 75 hundredths. Make sense, everybody? Yes, sir.
I got it right then.
Well done. Good job, Dane.
Yeah.
Any questions on anything we've covered thus far? Good, because now is your chance to prove it. Turn the page. You see up here it says classwork. That means you get to do it. We're going to give you guys about 10 minutes. Get as much of this done as you can. Most of you probably won't finish, but we'll go over as many of them as we can before the end of class. Okay? So 10 minutes for work on. Okay, let's get our answers super quick because we got 6 minutes left in class.
Yay.
Okay, in decimal form for the fraction 3/20. Winner goes in the house, right, Noah? Ruby goes where? Outside. So please write this down on your paper. Decimal goes straight up. It's going to go once. Gives me a 10, still not a 0. Bring that down. 5, 9 at 0. So I'm done. So in fraction form, that is 15 hundredths. There's my answer. Next one. Again. Say it, write it, simplify it. So, say it. 275 thousandths. Write it. 275 thousandths. Simplify. Now, for those of you really good with math, you may realize I can do at least 25 out of that. But, I'll be honest, a lot of times it's easier to do the 5 twice and actually quicker in the long run. So if I do 5, that's going to go 55 times and 200. I can divide by 5 again. It's going to give me 11 and 40. Can't go further than that. Answer A. Okay? Now, express each as a decimal, as a fraction or mixed number in simplest form. So, again, say it, 8 tenths, write it, 8 tenths, simplify it, divide by 2, 4/5. Say it, 54 hundredths, write it, 54 hundredths, simplify it, divide by 2, 27 and 50, can't go lower than that, I'm done. Say it, 1 and 875 thousandths. Write it, 875 thousandths. Again, I don't worry about the whole number because it is not going to change. Simplify it. Divide by 5. It's going to give me 175 over 200. Divide by 5 again. It's going to get me 35 over 40. So sorry that's not right, and that's a 40 and a 35. There we go. So I'm going to restart over here so we have the work. 35 and 40, I can still divide by 5. Gives me 7/8. Don't forget to put your whole number back in front of it. 1 and 7/8. Making sense, guys? Okay? Express each fraction or mixed number as a decimal. This is where we are dividing again. The winner, top guy, goes in the house. Losers left in the cold. We actually already did this one once, so I'm going to go through it quick. So, 125 hundredths. Okay, so I did a couple while the announcements were going. Here we've got a 3, a 7, and a 5. So again, do the fraction piece first, then put the whole number in front of it. So 1 and 375 thousandths. Okay? The next one. The results are up here. What decimal represents the fraction of 7th grade representatives that voted on a Saturday dance. So it gave us this entire chart, but I only need one line, right? So, grade 7 I need the fraction that voted on a Saturday dance. How many voted for the Saturday dance? 3. How many 7th graders voted? 2 and 3 is 5. 2 voted for Friday, 3 voted for Saturday. So what decimal represents this? How do I turn it to a decimal? 3 divided by 5. So that becomes 6/10. Voted for Saturday. Okay? And then number 8. Oh, that's time.
Yay!
Don't worry about the last ones, guys. If you didn't do it, that's okay. Go ahead. Okay, class is gone, but I'm going to do these last couple just so you've got the information should you want to check your own answers. So Hope is on the 100-meter dash in 14 and 1/8 seconds. Julie's best time 16 and 7/10 seconds. How much faster is Hope than Julie in the 100 meters dash? So we need to get these to the same format to be able to make that decision. I'm going to go with the fraction piece and turn it to a decimal, but you technically could do the decimal and turn it into a fraction, but the whole fraction piece I think will be probably more difficult for most of you. So we're going to do the decimal fraction instead. So I do 1/8, so that is going to come out to 1, 2, 5. So then I put that together with the whole number, and I subtract that from 16 and 7/10. Remember when we're doing subtraction and have extra places, just add zeros. So that gives us 6, 9, 10. So 5, 7, 5. 6 minus 2 is 2. So Hope is 2 and 575 thousandths of a second faster. There's our full answer. So Hope definitely beats up on Julie. And then our last one, Caesar making a scale drawing to represent a model of his house. The length of the model house measures 10 and 7/8 inches. What decimal will Caesar use in his drawing if he converts the measurement of the length of the model into a decimal? So there's our question. So basically, length into a decimal. So really all I got to do, again, just do the fraction piece, 7 divided by 8. That's going to go 8 times. Gives us a 6. Still not at 0, so that's going to get a 7. Still not at 0. 40 is a 5. So now that we have the decimal piece, the decimal measurement, don't forget to put the whole number back in front of it, is 10 and 875 thousandths inches. Make sure you include the units. So for those of you that finished that up, there are the rest of your answers, so you can check them. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.